Today I am going to be making a little t-shirt. Wanted you to see how quick and easy it is to do whole garment construction on the serger. I am dealing with small pieces, so I am using my clear curve foot for my serger. The clear is going to let me see my fabrics and where I'm sewing a little bit, and the short is going to help me out with some of these small curved pieces. So let's get started. So I have my pieces laid out. I have the front of my little t-shirt, my back, two sleeves, and my neckband. So we're going to put these together. So we're going to start with our shoulder seams. So I'm going to lay my front and my back right sides together at my shoulder seams, and we're going to serge this tiny little seam. Not too much seam allowance to take off. Something so tiny. Get some of these ends trimmed up. So there we have our shirt sewed together on our shoulder seams. So now I'm going to open it up and I am going to lay out my sleeve. I have a notch in my sleeve indicating its middle point. I'm going to put that on my seam allowance, and I am going to work my edges over here to the edge. Get things lined up. This one is a I adjust as I go process. So making sure my notch stays with my seam. Just keep everything nice and flat. There we have our sleeve put in. So you can see how that's coming together, looking like a little t-shirt already. And we're going to repeat for the other sleeve. You can always pin or clip. And if I had a bigger shirt that I was working on, I probably would do that. But this little tiny bit, I don't usually pin them. There we go, second sleeve in. So you can see coming together nicely. Now I'm going to put them right sides together, and I am going to start at my cuff and serge down my sleeve, in through the underarm seam and out to the hem. So we're going to take in this line right here. And that's going to close our shirt up. So we're only a couple minutes in and we already have this almost done. This double brush poly is so soft. Making sure my underarm seam is staying matched up. Even where I had that turn at my underarm seam, you can see that was so quick and easy. One thing I'd like to point out is my edges matched up. If they had not, or I was having any rippling, I could adjust my dual feed to help with that. But this is just turning out just great. So moving on to the other side. I do like to raise my knife up just to help me get a little further back to get started. Because that's what happens when I don't. There she goes. Okay, so now we have our little bitty t-shirt basically constructed. Certainly looks like a little t-shirt. Now we're going to put our neckband on. So I have my rectangle. I'm going to serge this closed right here on the end. Okay, I'm going to need pins for this part. Okay, now that I have my neckband joined, going to fold it in half, wrong sides together. And I do go through and mark my quarters on my neckband. So my 1/4 is my back seam, and I'm going to mark the front opposite that. So we're going to put a pin in right here. This is going to help me make sure that I get the neckband stretched out in the correct manner when we go to put it on. So I've joined my back seam to my front center where I marked with the pin, and I'm going to put a pin in each of my sides. Okay. So we are going to do the same thing for the back. So I have a back notch for my center back, and then I'm going to fold this in half and I'm going to mark my center front. Some patterns will give you a notch for that as well. And then I'm going to match my front and my backs, and I'm going to mark my 2 centers. Instinct is to say that my shoulder seam is the center, but it's not always. If I just went with my shoulder seams as my center, my neckband would not be even front to back. So now that we have those marked in their quarter, we're going to match our quarter pins up in the same manner. So seam is going to go with our back notch. Front is going to go to my front notch, my front pin. Sides are going to come out here. This one's tiny. And my neckband is gonna be a tiny bit smaller than my actual shirt. And that's so that as you stretch the neckband, as you put it on, once it's on, it will lay flat. If it were the same size or bigger, your neckband ends up with a ripple in it. So now that I have this on here, I am just going to serge it on. So right here you can see how my neckband is smaller than my actual shirt. So where I have these pinned, when I get to that and I serge, I will stretch my neckband so that my shirt lays flat. So here we go. I want to be careful and make sure that I don't get my pins too close to my knife. Like scissors, we don't want our knife to catch our pins. So now that I have that started, I'm just going to give this, it doesn't take much stretch. You don't want to distort it. I just want to stretch it enough so that my shirt lays flat. You can see when I take the pressure off, it bunches up right here. So I've just stretched it just until it lays flat. Slow and steady, keeping everything matched up. Adjust a little. Just have to be slow and steady with these neck bands. Chain off. Give that a little press, but we have our neckband sewed on, all on the serger. I have not sewn much tiny clothes in a very long time. Let's see how much better that neckband lays now. Nice and flat. One of that I wanted to point out real quick here as I'm putting this cuff on my sleeve, it's so tiny. It's so tiny. There's my cuff. And I'm sewing in the round. The short length of this presser foot, and you can see how short it is in comparison to my regular foot. This is where my clear one ends and my regular one comes all the way out here. So you can see it's probably a good 1/2 inch shorter. Sewing in the round with this small cuff, this is the perfect foot for that. Just slowly working this through. There's my cuff sewn on. That looks great. So now I'm going to switch my machine over and we're going to cover stitch the hem in here. Okay, so I have my machine switched over to my cover stitch setup. So I've traded out my little face piece here. I have moved my needles and I have re-threaded my machine. None of which took very long. I'm sure we'll do another video on how easy that switch is. I am also using my fabric guide. This is adjustable, screws in right here on the plate, and then you can set this guide to your hem depth to help you keep even as you cover stitch. Take my stitch length out just a little bit more. I am using woolly nylon in my hem and my cover chain looper thread over here. Okay, and here we go. Our little t-shirt start to finish on the serger and cover stitch machine. We put in cuffs, a neckband, put our hem in, did all of our construction. Easy and in no time at all.